gives me great pleasure to share one of the passions that have been with me for the last 1.5 years, my book, When Change Happens. And this is coming to you thanks to the BDB Book Club, who have given me this opportunity to spend some time with those of you who are in Pune, to share some of my insights and learnings of the last 20 years on managing change. So what made me write this book on change? There are many concepts out there and many good material and books that I have read on change management. But when I have been implementing change with my customers across Asia, Pacific and Japan, one of the key things that I have found wanting is some key practical tips and insights on what really happens in the change management process. We've had some very good case studies, but without telling you the underlying political dynamics that were at play in the change management process. So I decided to share my experience with you, an experience that many of you may have gone through and many of you may have encountered yourselves, but never really got to writing it down. And probably one of the key reasons why people don't do that is because we are bound by the confidentiality and the nature of conversations. I created a fictional company. A company like this doesn't exist. You will be hard pressed to even find out whether this company is in which industry. I've used Hollywood characters to try and keep as much away and protect as much confidentiality of the customers that I have actually encountered. And that saw the birth of this wonderful little story.
It's a fable, but not really a completely made up story, but it's a story based on the actual experience that Lalit went through. So it's a very realistic story, and it teaches you about what happens to change without being too dry and theoretical.
We have the story of the protagonist Matt, who's been asked by his company to drive change. And from then on, his adventure begins. Right from the challenges that he has encountered, the politics that are at play, the fact that his peers want him to fail, the fact that people feel that this whole change management effort is a waste of their time, all these are some of the actual realities that I personally encountered.
What I found interesting about Lalit's approach is to combine a 4,000-year-old tradition of storytelling with a subject which you oversimplify to the point that it leaves you with more questions than answers. That's a mark of a potentially good book. If it tells you all the answers, I would have been very disappointed if at the end of every chapter you said rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, because there are no rules.
And I have tried to put that together in one single story in a way that's entertaining, at the same time enlightening.
I think the book takes a very difficult topic like transformation and change and simplifies it. In the storytelling format is interesting. It lets you relate to the people and the human dimension much more. And but the powerful concepts are communicated through a simple story.
I hope you like it as much as I enjoyed writing it.
It says when change happens, it's almost as if he's kind of pacing the whole process of change for you very nicely.
So what are some of the key takeaways? Now for that you will need to read the book. But there are many practical scenarios and examples that will make you think, reflect, and there are many inferences. There is no magic formula as you can see, but there are some guiding principles that will hold you in good stead in your professional journey.
Do read the book. I think the way the book has been read out, has been spelled out is amazing, because it's a journey of one of the characters, and I think it just makes it more real life and makes it much more easier for readers to actually understand the context.
I think that's a very important time for the book to be written. We're seeing change in the environment at a pace that you cannot even imagine. I think the ability to hardwire yourself to sort of be prepared for change and fight change positively is required, and this book helps you do that.
So why would you want to read this book? For one, it's entertaining, it's a light read. Second, it has some great insights that you could use and actually leverage in your journey when you are undertaking a change management program. It has some personal lessons for you as well, and it challenges some of the paradigms that we have about success, and that is what would be interesting for you to read, infer and understand.
Lalit, I must say that you've written a wonderful book. I enjoyed reading it, and I'm sure all the people who buy this book are going to enjoy it.
While every change management process has many challenges, I'm sure in your journey there would be many as well. Please feel free to reach out to me, and as a fellow practitioner, I would be happy to support you with as much information and insights as I can have to offer.
I've been most impressed by the energy in the room and the excitement about making change and making the world a better place by engaging people to make those changes.
So I really look forward to seeing you all. So if you're in Pune and you happen to be there in November of 18th, please make sure to be there at my launch.
2 words, splendid luck. It was a perfect context building. I loved the panel discussion. It opened my mind on a few things. Honestly, being a corporate warrior for a long time, could relate to a lot of stuff that was spoken about.
What is my takeaway from this book? If having read this book, you gain one new insight, one new method, one new idea that you can actually implement in a company, and that makes you successful, that would be the takeaway for me.
For us who have known Lalit for quite a long period, and people who have also known him for a shorter period would say the word that really fits him is he's a maverick of sorts. A maverick who wears several hats. The obvious hat is the one that you're seeing today, which is author of a book. But he is a transformation specialist. He is an innovations expert. He is a qualified master coach. And surprise of surprises, he's also a filmmaker with a formal degree in filmmaking. But the one that I, as a friend, relate to, and even people who know him professionally probably relate to, is his hat of being a dreamer. I think he's someone who really believes in power of dreaming, but giving substance to that dream. Not only for himself, but for anyone who's come in touch with him professionally or personally.